there, folks. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you could be here, and I feel like I need to say that twice. I am really glad that you could be here. I'm more excited than I should be about today's recipe because it is so fun and so different, and it almost didn't make the show. We had to bump something else in order to put it on the show, but I was turned on to this sausage by a gentleman in Australia who works at a meat shop. His name is Trent Clark. How you doing, Trent? This recipe goes out to you guys. We started talking about a project that they were in the middle of working on. He said, "Hey, Eric, we're making the salt and vinegar cheese Kransky." I was like, "What? Salt and vinegar? You had me at salt and vinegar. Let's go. What are we talking about?" And he shared the general idea. He didn't share the exact recipe, but the general idea of the sausage that they were making, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. Now, there's ingredients that he was using in his recipe that I just can't get. There was a particular cheese that's from a company in Australia. I think it's a version of cheddar maybe, but it's like a salt and vinegar cheese, and they were using that inside their recipe. I can't get that where I'm at. And so we had to write our own recipe, but the inspiration from it came from Mr. Trent Clark, and I'm not entirely sure how it's going to turn out. I love all the ingredients, and so I'm feeling pretty good about this one. So let's just get right up into it. Let's make the smoked salt and vinegar cheese Kransky.
We're going to have a lot of fun with today's sausage as we start with pickling some red onions. So obviously we need a red onion, but as far as the spices go, we're going to do salt, sugar, some black peppercorn, and some garlic. We're also going to be adding some red wine vinegar as well as just regular water. And if you want to do something like a 50-50 mix between the vinegar and the water, that works. But I'm also going to have a recipe link in the description box below with all the information here in case you want to make this at home. All those ingredients will go into a little pot with the exception of the garlic. We're going to hang on to that. And now we need to get our mandolin ready to process the onions. Our brining mixture has been on the stove, and I have just added the garlic. I like to add the garlic at the very end once the salt and sugar has dissolved. Off of the stove, let it cool, and now we are ready to add this to our jar. All we're going to do is just pour this into our jar and make sure that our onions are fully submerged in that brining solution. So if you need to add a little more vinegar, add a little more water, not a problem. Or if you need to just push down the onion mixture just to make sure that it is completely under the brine solution, just like that, we're good to go. We can close it off and place this into our refrigerator. This is now going to hang out in the refrigerator overnight. I mean, you can use it as soon as 2 or 3 hours, but overnight's going to give us a really good solid flavor because of how thin the onions are cut. So into the fridge it goes. For the spice profile, we're going for that classic Kransky flavor. With a twist, obviously. We got salt, Instacure number 1, white pepper, and red pepper flakes. We're going to be smoking this sausage. We're also going to be adding savory, minced garlic, and encapsulated citric acid. This is going to give us that salt and vinegar spin on this particular sausage, give us a little bit of a tang. I don't want too much though. In addition to that, I am going to be adding a cure accelerator called sodium erythorbate. Our binder is going to be high heat milk powder at 4%, and I think it's going to give us a great flavor for this sausage. We're also using high temp pepper jack cheese from the sausage maker. We're using pickled jalapenos, and these are the pickled red onions that we just made. I did not make the pickled jalapenos because it was just easier for me to buy them. Anyway, if you want to make your own, that'd be great as well. But those are the 3 additions that we're going to be adding to this sausage. Pickled jalapenos, pickled red onions, and high temp pepper jack cheese. I did give the peppers and the onions a bit of a rinse to remove any excess vinegar that might have been on the exterior. And to process both of those add-ins, we're just going to chop them up into small pieces. The little bit of garlic that we're using in the recipe, I'm going to add to that little ramekin, and that's just so that I can throw it all in at the same time. But there we go. We've got our vegetables, we got our cheese, and let's look at our meat. We're going to go all pork for this sausage, pork back fat. We got bacon, smoky, and some pork shoulder. I feel that the bacon is going to play a critical role in the flavor of this sausage, but at the end of the day, we're going for a 30% fat content, and so we're pulling, roughly 100 grams of fat from the bacon, 200 grams of fat from the pork back fat, and then the lean pork is going to give us the other 700 grams, giving us a sausage that is a 70% lean and a 30% fat ratio. The bacon is cured bacon, and so there's already the element of it being smoked and seasoned and whatnot. And so we did adjust the salt and the cure based off of the amount of bacon that we're adding. The recipe link in the description box below will have all of that information already calculated. So if you want to make this sausage exactly like I'm making it here, just follow the recipe. There's our processed ingredients. We're going to give it a chill, and once it's under 34 Fahrenheit, let's grind it. Loving the grind, bacon, fat, pork. Oh yeah. Right now you can already smell that bacon, that smokiness from the bacon, and so I think that's really going to translate well in the finished product. We're going to put this into our KitchenAid stand mixer, using the paddle attachment to mix this up. If you're going to be using a stand mixer or an orbital mixer or a planetary mixer, whatever you want to call it, the process happens incredibly fast. So be sure not to over mix it. I'm talking maybe 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds, depending on the temperature of your meat. But now that we have our water and our spice addition, we're going to mix this till it's sticky. At this point, if you grab a handful, it should stick to the underside of your hand. And I can tell you right now, that is just beautiful. Incredibly sticky farce right there. Great. We're going to add our final additions to this mix. Now, the one thing I haven't added is the encapsulated citric acid. That's going to be the very last addition. Once we add the encapsulated citric acid, we're going to put it in a casing, and then we're going to cook it. It all happens the exact same day. We're adding our pepper jack cheese. And all of these stages are just to incorporate. It's already super sticky, so we don't have to worry about it. And then finally, we're going to be adding the encapsulated citric acid, and that's this ingredient right here. We add this last because you don't want to overmix it. You don't want to run the risk of rupturing those encapsulations, which could ruin the texture of your sausage. It's another reason why you don't want to make this and then refrigerate it overnight with the encapsulated citric acid in there, because you could run the risk, once again, of breaking the encapsulation, which will ruin the texture of your sausage. So the recommended way to use ECA, or encapsulated citric acid, is to make the sausage and cook it the same day. We just want to make sure that it's mixed properly, and it looks like it is. Absolutely perfect. We've got a very sticky farce here. All of our ingredients are incorporated. And this smells amazing. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of a Polish sausage, like a kielbasa. Very, very sticky. Loving the way that it looks. We're going to get this into a 5-pound sausage stuffer, making sure that we punch it down so we don't get any air pockets. And look at that batter. I mean, who's with me on this one? That looks amazing. I am very excited about this sausage. When I talked to Trent about the concept, and he told me all about it, I was like, oh yeah, we got to put this on the show. This is going to be fun. Casings we're using are 2932 from the sausage maker. Good high quality AA grade casing. We're going to dip it in some water. There's water on the horn, and the size horn we're using is a 3/4 inch. So, you know, it's important to make sure that you couple the right horn with the right size casing so that you get just a superior product after it's all said and done. We're going to put nice even pressure at the end of that horn with our thumb and our forefinger, gently squeezing it. What we're basically trying to do is have the meat pull the casing off of the horn. So as it's going through, you're just holding it tight enough to where it's pulling it off the horn, and your end rope, your sausage rope, is very plump. And as you can see right here, super plump. If you want a little test, you can go to any part of that sausage, give it a squeeze with your finger and your thumb, and it should be able to squeeze without it rupturing. See what I'm doing right here? This lets you know that it is filled perfectly. If you squeeze it and it feels like it's about to explode, you might not want to link it because there's a decent chance that you could get casing blowout. We're looking for a mark on the tray, and about 5 inches is good. But you can honestly make this whatever size you want. Doesn't really matter. 3 twists forward, and we have a beautiful, plump-looking sausage. The next one, we're going to squeeze, same little mark, and we're going to skip it. Third one, we're going to squeeze and twist it 3 times forward. So for this technique, we are twisting every other link 3 times forward. Notice that I do squeeze the sausage every time. That's just to ensure that you give yourself the space for those twists. If you don't pinch your sausage before twisting, you do run the risk of having it blow out. So watch this. I got my pinch marks, and then we're going to twist it 3 times forward. There you go. All you're doing is kind of prepping that twist area. And that's a little tip for you so that you can have better results when you go to twist and link your sausage. With a sausage pricker, I am going to prick out any air pockets that I see, and this is going to go directly into the smoker because remember, this is a same-day sausage. From start to finish, here we go. All right, we're using the Smokin' It Smoker Model 4 digital Wi-Fi convection smoker. As you can see here, we're only making 1 kilo, but regardless, this smoker is going to cook these perfectly. I do want a sausage probe in there. Also from Smokin' It, we're going to just insert that right in the middle of our sausage and then begin the process of drying our sausage before we cook it. So let me show you the schedule on the digital smoker. The first step, that's where we're at now, 100 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. The convection fan is on full blast, and this is simply going to dry out our sausage. The smoker is going to automatically go to 125, that's step 2, and it's going to hang there for 1.5 hours. Step 3, the smoker is going to go to 155, and it's going to be there for 1 hour. You can make it 150 if you want. And then step 4, the smoker is going to increase to 175, where it's going to monitor the food temp. And once the food temp gets to 150 degrees, that 150 mark is what activates the encapsulated citric acid, it's going to move on to step 5, at which point it's going to drop down to 140, and it's going to basically be a warming box for me. Usually, I only leave it in there for about 10 minutes or so at that final stage. Now that we've got the cook schedule locked in, let's begin the smoking process. I'm going to be using pellets in the Bella's Cold Smoke Generator, also from Smokin' It. And the temperature now is about 125, so we're just applying smoke really early. Nice steady stream, and we're going to do this for a couple hours. You can see the convection blowing that smoke around inside the smoker. And if you don't have a convection smoker, don't worry about it. In the recipe link, there will be alternate cooking instructions for just about whatever you have. That feels nice. All right, quick little cold water bath to bring that temperature down to below 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to keep everything nice and plump. It's going to keep the casing from shriveling up. And then once that happens, optionally, you could stick this on a rack, let it hang out at room temperature. This stage is called blooming, and that brings everything to a more harmonious state. Totally optional, though. It will enhance the color a bit, kind of mellow out the flavors. And let's heat some up and give it a taste.
The salt and vinegar cheese Kransky. I mean, check this sausage out. Absolutely gorgeous. A lot of cheese, a lot of pickled vegetables, super juicy. I got to tell you, of this year's lineup, this is one of probably 5 sausages that I have been dying to try. Great big thanks goes out to Trent Clark for the inspiration behind this sausage. You know what? Let's dive right in. I love it. Oh my goodness, that is delicious. I cannot believe how good that is. You know, I'm going to go in for a second bite. There's not one single thing that I don't like about this sausage. It is spot on, perfect in every way. The casing is snappy. It's incredibly juicy. The pepper jack cheese is spicy, but coupled with the pickled vegetables, you add that almost tangy quality. We got the encapsulated citric acid to bring additional acidity to this sausage. And the spice profile, it's seasoned perfectly. This may be my new favorite sausage. It is scrumptious. I love it, and I am so glad that we put it on the show this year. You're going to find a recipe link for the salt and vinegar cheese Kransky. Wow. One more peek. Look at that sausage. Just meaty, juicy, cheesy goodness. Oh, that looks so good. Wow, I should have made 50 pounds of this. I will, and I hope you do too. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the salt and vinegar cheese Kransky. Absolutely delicious sausage. I hope you get a chance to make it. If you have any questions about the recipe, let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's show, and we've got a huge episode lined up for you tomorrow. So if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you get notified of each one of our uploads, especially if you enjoy sausage. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. This is what I love about the show. This is such an unexpected sausage recipe. Came out of nowhere, and it is superb. Absolutely delicious. This should be on your short list. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm thinking about going to buy some meat and then making another batch right now, because a kilo ain't going to cut it. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, that's so good.